Oh, there you are, YouTube. Doodaloo, 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 doo. Subscribe. I just got back from seeing Dune, the new one, the one that's in theaters and HBO Max right now. And I'm going to give, a little review, kind of general, I guess, and overall essence and feeling and how, I don't know, the way I'm going to use the movie in the future. Um, how I compare it to the David Lynch one. The David Lynch one I kind of like, and actually I think I'm going to use this movie just the same way that I use the David Lynch one. I like to put David Lynch's Dune on in the background while I'm doing other things, on the computer, just painting, things like that, because it has a nice mood to it. It doesn't get too actiony. I think this one gets more actiony and loud, but I feel like it still has like that great Hans Zimmer score that can, I don't know, just sort of create a nice ethereal atmosphere. And that's what I like about the first one. It's very atmospheric and kind of quiet. You have all that whispering of the word spice, kind of ASMR type stuff. We don't really get the whispering of spice in this movie. I wish there was more whispering. I thought there was going to be some when Timothée Chalamet starting to use like his power voice sort of thing when he can, Jedi mind trick type stuff. And he kind of whispered, like, give me the water. He was like, give me the water. And I was like, oh, we're going to get some of that good whispering in this movie. But then it turned into like a more give me the water sort of thing, which, was fine, but it's not going to have quite the same feel as the David Lynch one when it comes to background movie. But Hans Zimmer's score will give me that great background movie feel, and I like that. But yeah, overall with this one, I thought it was pretty great. I'm excited for the next one. It was filmed beautifully. Again, Hans Zimmer's score was great. We were hearing bagpipes. I love how far into the future it takes place. I know that wasn't, the movie's idea. It was the book's idea, but that's something I always like when it comes to science fiction. I like them to really toss that deep into the future because it makes it more believable. Like stuff like Avatar, when I watch that, I'm like, that's not that far away. I don't see this future happening. The way they're traveling through space, it just doesn't seem like something that can be achieved in the amount of time that Avatar gave. I feel like everything, if you're going to go with science fiction that is very sci-fi, I feel like you need to throw like 350 years into the future. And that's what I really appreciated about this movie, and I guess the book too, which I haven't read, is how far into the future it is. Because when they are traveling, when I'm seeing these different ships and technologies and things like that, I want to see a distant year on it. Also, the David Lynch one, like the armor that they're wearing, how it's like all cubes and stuff like this. That was very unique of its time. I guess you could say it doesn't look good, but I like how different and odd and obscure it is. When we look at that armor in this movie, it's sort of what you expect. It doesn't... I feel like there are other movies that have done something similar. I could be wrong, but that sort of, organic armor that's like blue or red or whatever just seems like something I'd seen before. So I was a little disappointed that they didn't have something as I don't know, unique's the only word I can come up with, as unique as what we see in David Lynch's version. The sandworm worms were awesome. That was so cool. I loved the way they looked. I loved their threat surrounding the characters. I think everybody was really well cast in this movie. I'm excited. Some people we aren't going to get in the sequel, which is kind of sad. I'd like to see them move forward. We're not going to, but I am excited to see where the sequel takes us. I really want to see that one in IMAX, because this one I didn't get the chance to because Eternals took over our IMAX. So I just had to watch it in a normal screen. and it was still amazing. I'm glad I did that rather than watching on HBO Max. HBO Max, I'm sure it would have been good, but just not the same quality, and I would have had the distractions at home. Although me and my father-in-law, we were the only ones in the theater for a time, but I don't know, 3/4 into the movie, a couple came in, sat in the very back, and there were some distracting sounds in the back between them. So I was still able to focus on what was going on in the movie. But that was the first time I think I've ever had that happen to me in a movie, when someone sits in the back and you can hear what's going on. Yeah, you know, I'm sure I've been to movies where that was happening, but it was kind of loud. Not too loud, but it was still kind of like, I can't believe they're doing this. This is crazy. This is wild. Can't believe this is happening. But anyway, yeah, Dune, I like it quite a bit. Do I like it more than Lynch's? Probably, but Lynch's has a better, quiet, atmospheric backgroundiness to it that I like. This one I think I can still use as a background film, maybe not as much as David Lynch's, but I still like it, and I can't wait for the sequel. I'm glad that was finally greenlit. Everybody's going to look about 4 years older in that film than this one, but maybe they can work that into the plot. Anyway, perhaps I'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.